Close your eyes for a second. I want you to really go there with me. Imagine the scene. You meet someone new, and suddenly it feels like the saturation on the world dial just got turned up to 11. It's cinematic. It's those late-night conversations that feel like they're unlocking the secrets of the universe, you know? It's the grand gestures, the flowers showing up on a random Tuesday, the feeling that you have finally been seen. It is a sensory overload of the absolute best kind. You feel like you're floating. It's the fairy tale start we've been promised since we were old enough to open a book.
It is intoxicating. It is, chemically speaking, the perfect drug. But there is a subtle shift that happens in narratives like this, usually when you aren't looking. It's a moment where the dream starts to curdle just a little bit at the edges.
That's exactly what we're tackling today. It's that specific moment when the technicolor starts to flicker. You wake up one day and that floating feeling, it's been replaced by this like heavy knot in your stomach. And you're left wondering, wait, when did the script change? We always ask ourselves, how did I miss this? But looking at the psychology behind it, the truth is the signs were often there. They were just disguised as the very things we thought we wanted.
That is the tragedy of it. We are conditioned to look for monsters, but toxicity rarely knocks on the front door wearing a ski mask. It usually arrives bearing gifts. So our mission today is to unpack the architecture of heartbreak. We're going to look at the psychology behind the toxicity, strip away the romance, and look at the actual mechanics of manipulation.
And we're going to start right at the beginning, that perfect start. Because the concepts we're looking at suggest this is actually where the trap is set. We've got this idea of the Trojan horse of affection. You meet someone, and they are just obsessed with you.
In clinical terms, this is often categorized as love bombing. And we need to be really clear about why this works, because it's not just about being romantic. It targets a fundamental human need, the deep desire to be adored. The scenario is almost always the same. You meet someone, and immediately there is an overwhelming flood. Constant compliments, expensive gifts, declarations that you are the one after, like 2 dates.
See, this is tricky, because who doesn't want to be swept off their feet? If someone sends me 50 roses, I'm not immediately thinking red flag. I'm thinking jackpot. So where is the line between a hopeless romantic and a manipulator?
It comes down to pacing and reality. Healthy intimacy is a slow burn. It's built on actually knowing a person, their flaws, their coffee order, their history. Love bombing is a shortcut. It's a hack. The manipulator floods your system with dopamine to create a rapid, intense bond. It creates a dependency. They fast-track intimacy so you feel safe and you feel seen, even though they don't actually know you yet.
So they hook you on the feeling.
Right. And once you are hooked, once you are reliant on that level of adoration to feel good about yourself, they withdraw it.
That's the twist. The withdrawal. It's like they give you the sun and then suddenly, without warning, they turn off the light and you're left in the dark thinking, what did I do wrong? How do I get the sun back?
And that is where the control starts. You begin chasing the high of that first week. It shifts the dynamic from partnership to pursuit. You are now working for their affection. And this often bleeds into the next phase, which we can call the suffocation of we.
The suffocation of we. I like that. This is that phase where you do absolutely everything together, which again sounds romantic in a pop song kind of way. You and me against the world. But there's a line between wanting to hang out and, well, a cage.
It's the difference between desire and desperation. In a healthy honeymoon phase, you want to be together, sure, but you still exist as individuals. You have your gym time, your friends, your job. The toxic version of this is an excessive need that demands isolation. If you're cutting ties with friends because it's easier, if you feel guilty for visiting family, if your world is shrinking until it only fits 2 people, that is not romance. That is containment.
It reminds me of the I love you weapon. We see cases where people drop the L word incredibly early, not because they know the person, but because they love the idea of the person. Or worse, to lock them down.
It creates a binding contract. Think about it. If I say I love you in week 2 and you don't say it back, suddenly I'm the victim. I'm the one putting my heart on the line. If you do say it back, we are now bound by an obligation we haven't actually earned yet. It's a hallmark of controlling or narcissistic personalities. They fall in love with the fantasy and not the human being.
And when the human being makes a mistake,
the fantasy breaks and the punishment begins.
That punishment often looks like surveillance. And this is a big one because we normalize this so much. The jealousy is passion myth. You know, he checks my phone because he's so crazy about me. She needs my passwords because she cares.
We have to reframe that immediately. Jealousy is not a measurement of love. It is a measurement of insecurity. Constant monitoring, demanding passwords, tracking locations, reading texts. That is a surveillance state. It removes your autonomy. A partner who needs to know where you are every second doesn't respect your ability to govern your own life.
It's scary how easily we accept that as caring. But let's move to where a lot of modern relationships live and die, the phone. We need to talk about the digital ghost, because toxicity leaves a digital footprint that is undeniable.
The screen is a fascinating barrier. It removes nonverbal cues. You can't see the facial expression or hear the tone, which makes manipulation easier and anxiety higher.
Oh, totally. The anxiety of the bubble. You know what I mean? Staring at the three dots that appear and disappear, or just the silence. Let's talk about the vanisher, the person who is hot and heavy, texting you all day, and then, poof, gone for 3 days.
This is one of the most psychologically damaging patterns, and there's a specific term for why it works: intermittent reinforcement.
Yeah, break that down for us.
Think of a slot machine. If you pulled the lever and won every single time, you'd eventually get bored. It's predictable. If you pull the lever and never won, you'd walk away. But if you win sometimes, and you never know when, you will pull that lever until you are bankrupt.
Wow. So the erratic texting, the disappearing and reappearing without explanation, is the slot machine.
Exactly. The unpredictability creates a trauma bond. Your brain gets hooked on the high of their return. You aren't addicted to the person, you are addicted to the relief of them coming back. If someone is consistently inconsistent, that is not a busy schedule. That is a strategy, whether conscious or subconscious, to keep you off balance.
That makes so much sense. And it's so different from the night crawler. This is the person who is a ghost during the daylight hours, when you have a flat tire or a promotion or just a funny thought. But at 2 a.m., hey, you up?
Context is everything here. The nightcrawler pattern signals that you are an afterthought. You are a filler for boredom or loneliness. It shows a lack of integration into their real life. If they can't speak to you when the sun is up, they don't want a relationship with you. They want a convenience.
Or the minimalist.
Yeah.
You send a paragraph about your day, really pouring your heart out, and you get back, okay? Or cool.
Reciprocity is the heartbeat of connection. If you are throwing a ball and the other person just watches it hit the ground, the game is over. If the texts are consistently one-sided, or if the responses are dismissive, it signals an imbalance of power. You are doing the emotional labor, they are consuming it.
And then there's the passive-aggressive critic, one who corrects your grammar in the middle of a fight, or sends those texts like, I guess you're too busy for me just because you didn't reply in 5 minutes.
That is designed to induce guilt. It shifts the focus from their needy behavior to your reaction. Instead of discussing why they are demanding instant responses, you are suddenly apologizing for having a job or a life. It's a trap to make you constantly available just to avoid the friction.
It's exhausting just talking about it. But this leads to something deeper, because eventually all these little cuts, the texting games, the love bombing, the surveillance, they start to change you. We call this the slow erosion. It's where you start losing your sense of self.
This is the most dangerous phase. You stop trusting your own perception of reality.
There's this great distinction in the research between feeling insecure and having an unsafe foundation.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people blame themselves. They think, oh, I'm just being insecure. I need to work on myself.
That is a crucial distinction. Insecurity is an internal feeling of inadequacy. I'm not good enough. But an unsafe relationship is external. It is the floorboards actually shaking. If you catch your partner in lies, or if they are flirting with others in front of you and you feel anxious, that is not you being crazy. That is your survival instinct reacting to an unsafe environment.
You had a metaphor for this earlier that I loved.
Right, the bridge. Imagine standing on a bridge. If the bridge is swaying violently because of the wind and you feel dizzy, feeling dizzy isn't a disorder. You don't need therapy for dizziness. It's a rational physiological response to danger.
That is such a validating way to put it. There's a specific story from our notes that really stuck with me. Let's create a scenario here. Let's call her Lisa. Lisa has a partner, and whenever they visit the partner's family, one family member is just awful to Lisa. Rude, dismissive, passive-aggressive about her appearance. And Lisa tells her partner, hey, this hurts. Your brother is being really mean to me.
And the partner's response is the key to everything.
The partner says, just take the high road. You know how he is. Don't make a scene.
That right there is a betrayal. It seems small, keep the peace, but it is a form of undermining. By refusing to defend Lisa, the partner is effectively siding with the aggressor. They are prioritizing their own comfort, avoiding a conflict with their brother over Lisa's safety and dignity. In a healthy partnership, you are a team. You protect each other's backs. If your partner allows you to be an emotional punching bag for their family or friends, they are actively eroding your self-worth.
It's that feeling of being alone in a room full of people. And that connects to the puppet master. This isn't just about not defending you, it's about managing you.
The puppet master acts more like a parent or a manager than a partner. They dictate who you can talk to, what you wear, or how you spend your money. But, and this is the trick, they often frame it as concern. I don't want you wearing that dress because I don't want guys staring at you.
I just worry about you being out that late with those friends. They aren't good influences.
Exactly. But we have to be clear. Safety that restricts your freedom isn't safety, it's control. A partner concerned for your safety buys you pepper spray or picks you up from the station. A partner concerned with control tells you not to go out at all.
That is a massive distinction. And when that control tightens, we reach the final stage, the ultimate betrayal. This is where the toxicity becomes weaponized.
We're talking about vampirism here, the total drain.
The I would do anything for you proclamation. It sounds noble, like something out of a romance novel, but in practice.
In a toxic context, I would do anything for you usually implies I expect you to do anything for me. It is a demand for total submission. We see this vividly when a partner ignores your basic biological needs. They keep you up all night fighting when they know you have a huge presentation in the morning. They disrupt your sleep, your eating, your hygiene.
Sleep deprivation. That's literally a torture tactic used by intelligence agencies.
It is. And it works. If you are exhausted, you are less likely to fight back. You are less likely to think critically. A partner who respects you wants you rested, fed, and successful. A vampire needs you depleted so you are easier to mold.
And then there's the stab in the back. This one makes my blood boil. It's when you share something vulnerable, a secret shame, a past trauma. You give it to them in confidence because you trust them.
And they weaponize it in an argument 3 months later.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're arguing about whose turn it is to do the dishes, and suddenly they bring up your difficult relationship with your father.
That is a capital crime in a relationship. Intimacy requires vulnerability. When you hand someone a loaded gun, which is what a secret is, you are trusting them not to pull the trigger. If they use that information to humiliate you or win a cheap point in an argument, the trust is shattered. It's not just dirty fighting, it's a violation of the sanctity of the bond.
It's devastating. And speaking of hiding things, what about the partner who hides you, the secret shame?
This is subtle but painful. If you are months into a relationship and you haven't met their friends, or they don't post about you, or they introduce you as a friend in public, you have to ask the hard question. Are they ashamed of the relationship? Or are they ashamed of you?
Ouch. That's a rough question to face.
It hurts, but it's vital. Hiding a partner usually stems from a belief that the partner isn't good enough to be seen in the light of day, or, and this is common, they want to appear single to others to keep their options open. Either way, it makes you feel dirty, it makes you feel unworthy.
And that leads to the final concept in this section, the energy sink. You know, you come home, hey, you're excited. I want to start a podcast. I want to run a marathon. And they just let the air out of the tire.
Why would you do that? You're not athletic. That sounds expensive. It's a constant negation of your growth. A toxic partner often feels threatened by your success. If you grow, you might outgrow them. So they keep you underfoot. They act as an anchor, not a sail. They actively deplete the goodness in your life to keep you on their level.
It's heavy. It's really heavy to look at all of this laid out, the manipulation, the erosion, the control. It makes you realize how many of us have ignored these signs because we wanted the fairy tale to work. So, what does this all mean? If someone is listening to this deep dive right now and their stomach is dropping, what do they do?
Listen to that stomach drop. That is the most important tool you have. We often intellectualize our way out of our instincts. We make excuses. Oh, he's just stressed. He's just had a hard childhood. For sure, gut doesn't lie.
It's the confusion, isn't it? That feeling of needing a decoder ring for your own relationship.
Yes. If you are constantly playing detective in your own relationship, trying to decode text, trying to figure out what mood they're in, walking on eggshells, the answer is already there. Healthy relationships are not mysteries. They're not puzzles you have to solve to avoid pain.
I love that. Healthy relationships are not mysteries. We need to remember what health looks like. It's reciprocity, it's safety, it's autonomy.
It is support. It is a partner who says, go run that marathon and go to sleep. You have a big day tomorrow. It's boring in the best possible way. It lacks the roller coaster highs and lows, but it has the stability of solid ground.
So here is our final thought for you to carry with you today. We often pride ourselves on being tough, on making things work. We think that sticking it out makes us strong.
But we have to ask, is your resilience actually just tolerance for abuse? Are you proud of how much pain you can take? Because relationships aren't an endurance sport. You aren't supposed to survive love. You are supposed to thrive in it.
Listen to the silence. Listen to your intuition. And if the fairy tale feels like a nightmare, wake up.
You deserve to be awake.
Thanks for diving deep with us. Take care of yourselves out there.